Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of This Agrarian Life with me, your host, Herrick Kimball. And if you have been following this little mini-series about the addition going on to my house, you know that we poured concrete and in the footings, you can see them behind me here, beside me, and next we're going to start laying concrete block. And I wanted to show you this trowel right here. This is my trowel. It's even got my initials on it, HCK. I bought this 40 years ago when I was a student at Alfred State College in the building trades program. We had a masonry unit where we learned to lay block and brick and do concrete flat work. And I bought this trowel, and I have used this a lot over the years. I worked for one contractor after I got out of school. This hammer too I bought 40 years ago. And for 5 years I worked for that contractor. We did a lot of barn jacking up, camp jacking, laying concrete block walls underneath, and did a few additions. And then I went to work for another local contractor for 4 years, and we didn't do quite so much. I laid one addition with concrete block for him. I'm not a mason. I don't consider myself a mason. I consider myself a carpenter, but I know how to do masonry work, and I used to actually enjoy it, and because it's a skill to lay block and do it right and have it come out right. But I am not going to lay block with mortar here on this addition. I'm going to use the dry stack approach. I've used that here 3 times on my own property. Never used it when I was in business. Never dry stacked block, because everyone expects that you're going to mortar the block. That's what the blocks are made for. It's size-wise to do, and it's considered to be more professional. But dry stack is stronger. Same strength downward as a mudded in wall, a wall block laid with mortar, but the flexural or tensile strength, I think you would call it, is considerably more with a dry stacked wall than it is with your traditional, typical mortared block wall. I've read, there's variables, but generally speaking, it's 3 times stronger in that sideways pressure, to resist that sideways pressure. And you don't just dry stack the block. I'm sure some of you are familiar with this. You parge a 1/8 to 3/16 inch layer of cement and fiberglass mixture called quick wall. You put that on both sides of the wall, you fill the cores, you got a strong wall. And it goes pretty quick, and it's not necessarily just for amateurs. It's because you get a better wall. And in fact, when I went to Alfred, in my textbook back in 1978, had it right in there, along with how to use this. Don't you love that ring? It had information on dry stack, and the pictures show professionals laying up dry stack blocks. So it's legitimate, it's stronger, it's better, I think, but yet there's some resistance. Oh, I'll tell you this. When I went to buy these block, oh, and by the way, these are 8-inch blocks. When I did my other addition with a full basement, I used 10-inch blocks. But these 8-inch blocks, they are so much heavier than they used to be. I told my son, they're putting something in them now. They're heavier. But when I went to the masonry supply company to buy these blocks, I walked in and I saw a pallet of the quick wall mix for parging dry stack. And I said, well, you carry that stuff. And he goes, yeah. He said, that's really a good product. And he starts to tell me how great it is. And I said, I know, I've used it. I love it. And he says, I don't know why more people don't use it, because it also waterproofs. It puts a waterproof coating. That parging is waterproof. And so that's the story on Quick Wall. And we're going to get these walls started tomorrow. I'm going to let Robert and Neil lay them up while I do some other things. Neil's never done this before. Neil's dad is a mason, and so Neil's very familiar with concrete and block and all of that, and he has never done this. So it'll be a new experience for him. I don't know what he'll think of it, but the finished product is pretty nice. Okay, folks, that's it for this episode. In the next episode, I'll show you the walls going up.